This is our newest acquisition, a David Brown 990. I haven't even looked up the year yet. I think it might be somewhere around a 68. It's definitely before Case had anything to do with them. I decided to shoot one, probably just start shooting them as we bring them in. This is as found. I believe this is either a 1 or a 2 owner tractor. The previous owner was no longer around, and they don't really know whether he bought it new or not. He's had it for quite a few years though. So we'll give you a quick walk around, then if she decides she wants to run, we'll fire up at the end. It was a little bit low yesterday. Had to be jump started. So we'll start here at the front and make a circle. Does need a grill, and we found one of those already actually at a salvage yard. The front end will have to actually have a little bit of welding done to repair what's been done previously, and he continued to hit stuff at the bottom. Tin work, if I were to restore this, I think it's probably workable, but this is going to actually be left as is. We don't really restore them. We like them original. This tractor is pretty much all original, except for it appears that the wheels were doctored up a little bit. They were painted, and the front nose right up here, you can see here the paint is flaking off a little bit. And if you come around the side here, this is right here is the line where they were painting it. So there's very little up front that was actually painted. 90% of this is all original. We did get some factory weights with it, front and rear, so that's a plus. It's got 2 rear wheel weights and single front wheel weights. We get a lot of degreasing done to it. Starts and runs good, but you know, gotta get all that junk off of the motor too. But I'm not 100% sure that the generator's right, because it appears it has a gear for maybe a tack drive at the end of it, and obviously it's not hooked up. You can see the gear in there, so it might be the wrong generator. Kind of like the idea that it's got the key on the side. It's something a little bit odd. I'm wondering if I could put a foot throttle on this too. We have an 1190 that right down here where you see that grease fitting in front of, right here. That has, our 1190 has a foot throttle that goes into the position there, but that's a much later tractor. I could be jumping to conclusions. It's going to need some brakes too. The left brake works pretty good. The right brake is pretty much non-existent. And the tires are alright for what we're going to do with it. We'll leave them the way they are. We're not going to restore it, so it doesn't need new ones. The fronts are actually almost new on either side. They're pretty nice. I think they're mismatched, so one Titan and one Armstrong, but then I'm not sure. They might be the same tire anyway. I think Titan bought them. Come around the back end, we got the 3-point hitch here. I do not have the factory top link. That'll be something to find later. I'm not sure. I know the later tractors had some yellow on them. This drawbar seems to have yellow on it, which kind of makes me wonder, and I think somebody just painted the hammer strap green perhaps, or it's overspray, I'm not sure. Sway bars, I think I can come up with them. They're not there as well. I have one of the reflectors. This one's broken, and that one's just flat out missing. It does have the spotlight, needs to be rewired. That's typical for these old tractors. The rust on the fenders, I can actually remove some of that light stuff, like this stuff. This is kind of a hue. I'll make that disappear. I have some ways of doing that. Not all of it will go, obviously. The heavier stuff is going to stay, but we'll make it a little bit whiter than what it is right now without painting anything. The seat, yeah, that needs seat cushion, obviously. I'm sitting on a rag. The dash has got the gauges it's supposed to have. It's got the original David Brown tack on it. There's your hours right there. I doubt they're anywhere near proper. white steering wheels there and a temperature gauge. Again, a little bit of rust that'll be improved upon whatever I can do with it. The throttle stop, the engine stop does not work. I'll have to find out what's wrong with that. The throttle, you just push it all the way up and it stops, so fix that. See here, otherwise probably need the couplers taken off and cleaned up. They weren't plugged and they're pretty nasty. It does have the outlets though, at least. We need one light up top on the fender that's missing, the marker light. And here's our red rim that needs to be repainted, or I find a white one, either way. Which the other side's got calcium damage, so that'll have to be dealt with as well. That's it for there. We move forward. We have the original muffler. I don't think I mentioned that on the other side. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself any. The muffler's original. It's not quite in the best of shape. I know you can't get those mufflers anymore, so I'll probably do what I can and it'll just stay on there unless I find something nicer. Those aftermarket headlights will go right there and we'll plug up the holes. Power steering needs attention. It's basically manual steering right now. So I'm assuming that cylinders has some seals in it or something that are no good, or the pump needs attention, one of the two. No big deal. Need to get rid of that hose that's on there too. Probably doesn't look quite right. I'm sure there's supposed to be a hydraulic line on there. I can't imagine they'd put hose clamps on there like that. Again, just get rid of a lot of grease. I'm not sure why these were wrapped around the seat suspension. Yeah, there's rubber torsion springs, I guess they are, that appear to have vinyl wrapped around them. I'll have to get that off. Probably have to get that off of there as long as it doesn't belong. I'll try to check into that first. Can't imagine that'd be something original though. But yep, air cleaner. It looks like it might be right, but I don't think it is. This does not fit, and it's got a part tag they never took off. I think it's off a larger tractor, so maybe we'll get a smaller one. Again, we got front wheel weights, and like I said, the tire looks like the tires match, but they have different brands on them. But and there's your major fix right there. That's probably the worst thing on the whole tractor. Is I don't know why farmers are giving welders it ought to be against the law for certain people. They actually welded the steering arm to the spindle, so it not only needs a steering arm, it needs a spindle. So I don't believe I'm getting that off and saving either of them. I'm not sure. There's two different axles. I got to find out which axle I've got so I get the right steering arm, because there's a difference between them. I think the spindle remains the same though, and if I didn't mention it already, I have a grill already for it. It's going to go in it, and we need to get the lights working. But she starts up pretty good. There's a fastener up top that needs to be dealt with, and so the hood's kind of loose on it. We need to get some fasteners down in there that neither side's really being held on by much. But anyway, we'll step over here and see if she's going to start and conclude this here in a minute. Good for something as old as it is. 9 times out of 10 probably hasn't been rebuilt at any point. So that's pretty good for that. That'll conclude it for this one. We'll see what else I can shoot some images of here in the future, and maybe we'll just post them as it is, since it's easier than waiting until I why get all the work done. Things don't always happen as quick as you want them to. So that's a new David Brown 990.